just bought 5 million real YouTube views to test whether you could just pay your way to YouTube success. And this video is going to reveal my costs, my analytics, and all the results I got. But you might be wondering, how could you actually pay your way to YouTube success? Now, there are 6 main ways to buy views on YouTube, and the goal of this video is to test all 6 of these methods to see how they work and which one is the best, if any. And we start our journey in the deep, just going to take my money and run. And then I found one. It's this website, which I'm going to anonymize it. And I was faced with the choice of buying real views or regular views, because apparently regular views aren't real, which is really what we're going to hear. Now, after talking to a live chat agent, I finally deduced that regular views are basically just bot views. Essentially, these guys have programs set up that just run on autopilot, spamming out views on your videos. But these programs are intelligent and random enough that the YouTube algorithm theoretically can't detect them. The real views, on the other hand, as far as I can tell, come from click farms. And there's a real person with real accounts manually viewing your videos, but as you can see, this person is probably not going to become a loyal viewer of your channel anytime soon.
Why don't you get a day job, do something that contributes to society?
Now, obviously, I'm going to test both of these methods, but let's start small by just purchasing 10,000 regular views, which cost me a whopping $26 on sale. Bargain. Now, I know this isn't anywhere near the millions of views I promised at the start of this video, but trust, we will get there. Now I'm going to enter the link of the specific video I want to buy views for. I'm going to check out, ironically prove that we're not a robot. I'm going to cross my fingers, cover my webcam, and enter my payment details. Oh god. Now, as we can see, it's going to take between 4 and 18 weeks for my views to actually be delivered. So while we wait, let's go buy ourselves some real views. So basically, I just selected real views and went through the exact same process I just showed you. We bought 10,000 of them, which cost me $52. Now again, I know I'm being a bit of a tight ass here, but trust me, we'll make up for it later in the video. Now, the good or bad news, depending on how you want to look at this, is that both of my videos did get 10,000 views, and both of my videos have not yet been flagged or deleted by YouTube, so it looks like we got through the algorithm undetected. But what we're interested in more than the actual views is some of the deeper analytics. Well, first, let's look at the video where we bought bot views. So you can see this video has gotten 9,998 views. We purchased our views right about here on day 94. And we continued getting views until on about day 160-ish, where you can see our graph sort of flattened out here. But what we're really interested in here is how much money it actually costs us to get these results. So how much money do we actually pay per view? How much money do we actually pay per subscriber, per watch hour? Because knowing these numbers is going to help us calculate our ROI on these bought views, and then we can objectively compare the different view buying methods in this video to figure out which one is the best, if any. So I made a spreadsheet. Well, first let's look at the video that we bought bot views on. So in terms of what our stats actually look like, we're paying about 0.26 cents per view. Interestingly, we also got 78.4 watch hours from this promotion, which works out at about 34.95 cents per watch hour. To put that into perspective, at these numbers we'd need to spend about $1,398 to reach the 4,000 watch hours benchmark for monetization. We also got a whopping 3 subscribers, which works out at about $8.66 per subscriber, which looks like a staggering $8,666 if we wanted to use this method to buy 1,000 subscribers. Oh hell! What I'm really interested to see though is whether or not these views actually triggered the algorithm. So what you can do is you can go into your video, and you can click on see more, and then from content come across to traffic source. This is going to show us a breakdown of the views we got and where they actually came from, which is going to help us distinguish between the YouTube algorithm promoting our videos and the bot views that we got. So what we can see down here is that we've got 7,230 views from direct or unknown, and 2,678 views from external. These are clearly our bot views here. Now, when it comes to the YouTube algorithm giving us views, these usually come from browse features and suggested videos. To put this into perspective, we've gotten 15 views from the YouTube algorithm as a result of buying 10,000 bot views. And so the ROI for this method is not that great. If we come and look at our retention graph, we can see it is pretty miserable. Also, if we come across to our click-through rate, we can see that it is about 2.4%. In general, I think it's safe to say that 2.4% click-through rate is pretty bad. So just getting more views wasn't enough to tip this video over the edge. But how does this video compare to the video where we bought real views? So in terms of the stats on our real views video, it got 10,000 views as well, but a slightly higher amount of watch hours and also a slightly higher number of subscribers. If we actually look at how these numbers work out, we're paying here about 0.52 cents per view, paying about 50.4 cents per watch hour, and we're spending about $13 per subscriber. Now, if we come into this video and see whether or not our promotion triggered any organic growth, we actually got less organic views from the YouTube algorithm with this video, even though we paid for real views. In terms of the other stats for this video, our retention graph looks equally horrendous, and our click-through rate is miserable. Now, to put this into perspective, one of my students posted this exact same video on his channel, and here's what that video's analytics look like with 100% organic traffic. As you can see, our click-through rate is far better, our retention is far better than anything our bot or click farm views are able to generate, even though this is the exact same video. But with all that being said, how would we actually rank bot and click farm views on a tier list compared to the other view buying methods we're going to cover later in this video? Before we can give it a ranking, there are a few other things we need to consider. Firstly, all of the views that we just bought are never going to become active loyal viewers on our channel. Also, all the views we just bought are pretty much worthless when it comes to actually generating money, because they came from a third world overseas country. As YouTubers, we don't get paid as much ad revenue for views that come from those places.
Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger.
Also, it was a little bit painful trying to suss out the right website to try and make sure I wasn't just going to get scammed out of my money. There was a big time delay on those views actually being delivered to my video on my channel. So based on all of that, I would put our bot views in C tier, whereas our more expensive click farm views, which essentially did the exact same thing as the bot views, but just for more money, definitely is going in D tier. So now we move on to testing some of the more reputable promotional methods. And the first one is relatively new as of creating this video, but it's pretty cool. What you can do is when you log onto YouTube Studio, you want to come to Content, and then for most channels, up in the top right hand side, you're going to see promotions. It's currently in beta. But if you click here, your tab's probably going to look a little bit different to this one because I've already run a promotion. But you should see a button that says plus new promotion. You want to click on that. From here, you'll be asked to select the video from your channel that you want to promote. Say this one, and then YouTube's going to promote your video as an ad across the platform in a way that looks like this. If we hit next, from here you're going to be able to choose what countries you want to target, and you can also choose a specific language if you click on this drop down. From here, if you click on next, you can choose how much money you want to spend on the promotion, and if you click on this drop down, you can select how long you want the promotion to actually run for. From here, you just click on promote, input your payment details, and you're good to go. But I'm not going to do that because I've already run a campaign. I want to share with you my experiences with this method. So in terms of the actual numbers, for this test, I spent about $100, got 300,000 impressions, got about 1,580 views, and 240 subscribers. On average, I was paying about 6.3 cents per view. To put that into perspective, for 1,000 views, I need to pay about $63. I was paying about $7.70 per watch hour, so I need to fork out a staggering $30,000 just to get 4,000 watch hours using this method. Now, so far the stats are a little bit miserable, but when we come to cost per subscriber, we can see that I'm averaging about one subscriber for every 41 cents spent, which I'm actually very impressed with. That's far cheaper than any method we've currently tested. If we come to the analytics of this video and we dive into the traffic, what we can see here is the bottom line is our YouTube advertising. You can see it's 0 views up until we hit about July 26th, and you can see the above lines are browse features and suggested features. So this is the algorithm sending us traffic, and you can see it looks like our advertisement has basically had no impact. I don't see a decline in views or an increase in views correlating with when we started or stopped promoting this video. So how does this method compare to other view buying methods? In terms of our actual stats for this video, our average view duration is actually pretty underwhelming, especially considering how many people subscribed. It's only 31 seconds. So a couple of things. Firstly, it's really easy to set up a campaign you can do it within YouTube, and I like that I can select what country I want to run my promotion in. However, something you might have noticed when we went through that build out process is that YouTube never asks us what kind of viewers we want to target. We can select the country and language, but that's it. Now, my guess is YouTube looks at the viewers of your previous videos to figure out what kind of people to send your promoted videos to. So for a channel like mine that has an established audience, that works fine. But I could see this being a bit of a problem for a brand new channel that has very little data, or if you're a variety channel that doesn't have a very focused audience. So with all this being said, when we weigh everything up, I think promotions probably belongs in B tier. It's a tad expensive unless you're solely after subscribers. But is there a way to get a lot of views cheaper than using YouTube promotions, but also without breaking YouTube's community guidelines? Well, let me introduce you to Google Ads, which is basically the most advanced way of running promotions. And I recently spent about $88,000 to buy over 5.4 million views. So this is where some of these numbers get pretty big and exciting. But first, how do you actually use a Google Ads account to promote your YouTube videos? Well, you want to go to Google, just type in Google Ads. You want to go to ads.google.com. From here, you can just click on Start Now and just follow the prompts to create a completely free account. Once you've created your account and gone through like the basic setup and stuff, you should see a page that looks like this. And we want to click on this plus button that says Create. And we're going to create a campaign. So we're going to select Create a Campaign without the goals guidance, and then we're going to click on Video. We're going to leave this on default, hit continue. You can name your campaign, you can add your budget here, you can choose how long you want your campaign to run for. I usually like to let campaigns run over a number of days, because what you'll find is that the algorithm will optimize if you give it more time. Come down here, we're going to click on networks and get rid of video partners on the Google Display Network, because we just want to be promoted on YouTube. And if we come down here to locations, click on enter another location. And then in enter another location, I like to add the following countries. Pause the video and see what these countries are. The reason I add these countries specifically for this type of campaign is that these countries are the cheapest to advertise in, yet they have a relatively large number of English-speaking people, meaning we can get pretty cheap views. So then you want to come down here and just make sure you select English. Continue scrolling down, leave everything else on default, and then you just go copy and paste the link of the YouTube video you want to promote in here. So for example, I can just chuck this one in, and what we're going to do is select skippable in-stream ads. And then this video is going to show up as one of those skippable pre-roll ads that you see all over YouTube. Then what you're also going to do is in final URL, you're also going to paste the link of that video. So what's going to happen is when people click on this ad video, they're going to be sent to the video actually on your channel page. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click on call to action here. For the call to action, we're going to click here and we're going to come down to watch now, and you can just leave the headline as it is. For your maximum cost per view, I'd usually recommend just putting in like $1 or $2. It's not actually going to be that expensive, but sometimes if you put in a really low number, your campaign just won't spend money. And then from here, you just click create campaign and it's going to start running and promoting your video. So I recently ran this campaign here for $100 promoting this video here on my channel. Now this video is a video that I thought was going to do terribly in terms of views, and it did, because it's about me and my story, and that's not what people watch my videos for. But I wanted this video to be on the channel for brands, sponsorships, or more hardcore fans who want to learn a little bit more about me. But it looked really embarrassing when the video only had like 5,000 views. So I wanted to boost it a little bit, and that's why I created this campaign. So in terms of the actual results of these types of campaigns, you can usually be looking at a cost per view of about 1.1 cents. In terms of watch hours, I'm looking at about 39 cents per watch hour, which is pretty good. On the other hand, I'm paying $10 per subscriber, which is similar to some of the other methods we mentioned so far, except for the YouTube promotions method, which blew this one out of the water. Now, in terms of whether or not promoting this video triggered any organic growth, the results are pretty much the same as what we've seen throughout this entire process. It had little to no impact whatsoever. But speaking of having an impact on videos, there's a bit of fear going around that if you buy ads on your videos, YouTube's just going to stop promoting them organically. So in Spiff's video, he bought a bunch of views using YouTube ads, which you can see from this spike here. And you can see after he bought those ads, his views dropped off significantly. So it looks like he essentially just killed his views. But in my testing, I haven't found a situation where this has actually been the case. Just to show you some real examples, if you have a look at the orange line, this is where I bought views through YouTube ads. Now if we look at the other lines here, these are representing YouTube search, YouTube browse features, and suggested videos, which is basically the YouTube algorithm promoting our content. And as you can see, there's pretty much no noticeable impact of the YouTube algorithm not sending me views just because I bought advertisements. Pretty much the closest example I could find